So I got this great question from BG Pavachan, and he's asking which stock valuation to trust. He found a company that he really liked, and he found that using the calculator that we provide on Buffett's books to be $35. And then he checked that on Guru Focus, and they had the intrinsic value of $127. So who's right and who's wrong? And let's have a closer look at that. Alright, Beji, so I just pulled up Sherwin-Williams Company as you were talking about. And when I see that there is a large discrepancy between what you think and what someone else thinks, so in this situation it would be Guru Focus, a lot of things could be the reason why. One thing is that very often people simply have a difference of opinion in terms of how to evaluate a company and how much it's worth. But when it's that vast, I would also see if there might be some, say, fundamental differences in how to evaluate that. And it's not like I have gone through the company in detail. If I need to do that and I need to come up with an exact figure, first of all, that probably wouldn't be possible. It's really hard to come up with an exact figure for a company. It might be an interval of, say, from $60 to $85. But even so, when I see that there's a vast discrepancy between what you have and, say, for Guru Focus, the problem might be in the way that either you or the other party evaluates that stock. And you said that you had been using the calculator that you can find on Buffett's books, and you were looking at the book value. Now, so the book value, that is basically looking at the equity or the change in equity for one stock. And one thing that you need to be aware of is how to account for treasury stock. And if we scroll down here on the page, you can see that they actually bought back a lot of shares here. So in the recent year, something happened here in 2010. But if you see here in the recent year from 11, 12, 13, 14, you can see that they bought back a lot of shares. And the way to account for that is, it might be counterintuitive, but it's actually a negative figure. And that's just the way the accounting practices work. And since it's a negative figure when you're buying back stock, that means that you will not add to the equity. And if you don't add to the equity, then your book value will not increase. So if you base your valuation based on your book value increases because you're thinking, well, since we're making more money, the equity should increase, therefore the equity per share should increase, and based on that you could come up with an evaluation for a company. Then you're simply just heading for trouble. The calculator is not wired that way. It cannot really be used if you're looking at a lot of share buybacks. So what I would ask you to do is use another type of calculator. So if you log into Buffett's books, instead of using the intrinsic value calculator which you see here, I would suggest that you use the discounted cash flows and then solely be looking at how much money is the company making, and discount that back. And if you do that, I'm not saying you will come up with $127, but it might be closer to the real intrinsic value. Okay, Beji, so I hope this was helpful, at least in just say general terms of how you could access this problem. If you have any follow-up questions, or if any other you guys have any questions at all about investing, feel free to tweet me at stick_brodersen, or please feel free to send me an email at askinvestors.com.